Have you ever seen a show like Stranger Things and wondered if such a thing could really happen? Well, what if I told you there's a conspiracy theory so bizarre, so detailed, it makes the Upside Down look like a walk in the park? Welcome to the chilling story of the Montauk Project. Deep in the quiet town of Montauk, New York, at an abandoned military base called Camp Hero, something strange was supposedly brewing. The story goes that from the 1970s through the 1980s, this wasn't just any old Air Force station. Beneath the surface, hidden from public view, the U.S. government was allegedly conducting a series of top-secret, mind-bending experiments. What kind of experiments, you ask? We're talking about things straight out of a science fiction movie. Mind control, psychic phenomena, remote viewing, the ability to see things miles away with just your mind, and even telekinesis, moving objects without touching them. Some claims even suggest scientists were trying to create time portals, and were even in contact with extraterrestrial beings. Sounds completely unbelievable, right? But the story has persisted for decades. So, where did this all start? The legend of the Montauk Project is directly tied to another famous conspiracy theory, the Philadelphia experiment. Back in 1943, the U.S. Navy was supposedly testing technology to make a ship, the USS Eldridge, invisible to enemy radar. But something happened. The experiment went horribly wrong. According to the legend, the ship didn't just become invisible. It briefly teleported to another location and then reappeared, with some of the crew members fused to the ship's metal and others driven completely insane. Two of the alleged survivors of the Philadelphia experiment, brothers Duncan and Al Bielek, are central to the Montauk story. Decades later, they claim to have regained suppressed memories of what really happened. They said the technology from the Philadelphia experiment wasn't abandoned. Instead, it was refined and moved to Montauk, where the research evolved into controlling not just electromagnetic fields, but the human mind and even time itself. According to those who claim to have been involved, the project targeted specific individuals for these experiments. They were often vulnerable people, runaways, orphans, or young men who wouldn't be easily missed. These individuals were allegedly subjected to intense psychological conditioning and exposure to strange electromagnetic fields to unlock or enhance psychic abilities. Some were said to have been programmed for specific missions, their memories wiped clean afterward. One of the most famous parts of the legend is the Montauk chair. This device, supposedly powered by alien technology, was designed to amplify a psychic's thoughts. A person with strong psychic abilities could sit in the chair, and whatever they concentrated on could manifest in reality. They could create physical objects out of thin air, or even open a vortex to another time or place. It was through this chair, the story goes, that a tunnel in time was opened, connecting the 1980s to the 1940s, right back to the original Philadelphia experiment. But things, as they always do in these stories, spiraled out of control. One day in August 1983, the project was allegedly brought to a sudden and violent end. While a psychic was connected to the chair, he supposedly unleashed a monster from his subconscious, a creature of pure, destructive energy. The Montauk monster went on a rampage, destroying equipment and threatening everyone at the base. In a panic, the project leaders realized they couldn't control what they had created. The only way to stop the chaos was to destroy the equipment and cut the power for good. And just like that, the Montauk Project was supposedly shut down, and the entire base was sealed. Now, it's important to remember that there's no concrete proof that any of this actually happened. The U.S. government denies it, and Camp Hero is now a state park. But the stories refuse to die. Researchers and believers point to the eerie, abandoned radar tower that still stands, and the sealed-off underground bunkers as silent evidence of a hidden history. They interview supposed whistleblowers and former test subjects who tell chillingly consistent stories. When you look at the parallels with a show like Stranger Things, a secret government lab, psychic children, a gateway to another dimension, and a monster unleashed, it's hard not to wonder. Did the Duffer Brothers draw inspiration from the Montauk Project? They originally even pitched the show under the title Montauk. So, is it just an elaborate hoax, a fascinating piece of modern folklore? Or is there a kernel of truth buried beneath the layers of fiction and conspiracy? As the line between reality and fiction seems to get blurrier every day, the Montauk Project serves as a creepy reminder that sometimes the strangest stories aren't the ones we see on screen, but the ones whispered about in the shadows of our own world. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this dive into the unknown, don't forget to like and subscribe for more eerie's.